Her nickname is Google, and that's because of all the facts and figures she knows unrelated to basketball. Keep in mind that she's a really good basketball player. Cameron Brown joining us on the Bruin Insider Show for Nick Cope. I'm Bryan Fenley, a key cog to the women's basketball team that is undefeated, number 2 in the country. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
So I hear all this stuff about all of these things that you know pop culture-wise and all the information that, from what I hear, Google is your nickname because of all the different facts and figures that you know. If you were to dominate in a category in Jeopardy, what would that be?
Maybe like music references. I listen to a whole bunch of music. Love it a lot. Like, I think I got like the Apple Music replay. I had like over 100,000 minutes listened to in 2023. So I think like a lot of music facts. I think I'd be up there. Sports, of course. That's pretty fun. I just feel like I know like a lot of random facts, and I just really like learning things. Love a lot of information. I was just like really curious kids, asked all the questions, so I was like, hey, gotta retain the stupid facts, you know? You never know when you need them.
There will be trivia nights in the future down the road, and you're going to be the MVP.
Hey.
Are you the unofficial DJ of the team then?
I am not. Christine holds it down.
Okay.
I have more, eclectic taste in music. I go to rock, country, a lot of old school 70s, 80s music. So no,
not everyone can handle that
Not
variety.
everyone can handle the variety, but honestly, any music you turn on, I'll probably bop to it because I like something.
So there's the radio component of this interview, but if those of you who are watching the video component as well, you'll realize that we're at practice and there is music going on in the background. So whose iPod do they hook up for the music behind what you all are performing in?
We make a playlist and we send it to the managers. So that's probably one of the managers' phones. But like we make a playlist and everyone sends in requests and like whatever they want, and then they just put it on shuffle.
I'm curious, given how long you've been here now and being one of the leaders of this team, how do you guys handle the expectations that have come with this season, having that target on your back, being undefeated to this point, having that number 2 ranking? How do you handle that?
I think it's handled pretty easily. It's hard to focus on the expectations and the target when you're having fun and you're being pushed in practice. Like, we don't always feel like we are the number 2 team in the country based off how we practice and what we see in the film room and just the expectations that we hold for ourselves and the standards that our coaches and ourselves keep us to. So it's kind of hard to feel the outside target when you have such a big level of expectation and standard for yourself. But we also really focus on having fun. I think Gabs broke it out today in our huddle before we started practice. She was like, y'all, remember, we're really good at basketball. And just remembering to have fun in basketball and that we are really good. So just balancing both fun and what we have achieved, but also we see in film what we're missing and what we're messing up. We see in practice how we can get better. So just the balance of those two has helped us out a lot.
Cam Brown joining us on the Bruin Insider Show, women's basketball player for Nick Cope. I'm Bryan Fenley. It's been a really fun season, and it's been well documented, the trials and tribulations you have had to go through, the surgeries and the injuries. And with this undefeated season, what about your resilience is unbeaten?
It's a huge blessing to be here for a 5th year, especially when I thought I was going to medically retire my junior year. So it would have been last year I would have been medically retired. Basketball is really fun, but it's also pretty brutal sometimes. And the injuries I've faced has definitely helped me become a player I am now. I don't think there's anything I face on a basketball court that is as bad as an ACL rehab. And it keeps my mind pretty neutral because at the end of the day, I'm really grateful I can still play this sport, especially when I had so many opportunities where I wasn't allowed to and it was taken away from me. So I hopefully prove to myself on the daily and my teammates daily that hard things can be done. They can also be done with grace, and they can be done by giving to other people, and they can be done when you're still having fun. But I think our team has all of us have faced resilience, has gained resilience in all of our journeys, and I just hope that I'm leading from the front in that.
Going through such a trying time, how'd you get through it?
The people here, my circle, my friends, my teammates, they kept me encouraged. They kept me looking on half glass full instead of half empty, especially it gets tiring. But like, especially the last ACL rehab I had, I completely stepped away from basketball. I was like, I can't focus on the sport I feel like I want to give up. I was like, I had to find a new love for it again. And our new strength coach, Stuart Hart, he's been here for, I think this is third year now. He really, really helped me. I saw him every day, probably more than I saw everybody else. And he gave me the love for the weight room. He inspired me to do more, become stronger. And through that process of just getting my body stronger, my mind stronger, I fell back in love with basketball. So that was kind of my story.
And over the years here at UCLA, your relationship with Charisma Osborne has only strengthened as well. And I saw a really cool post-game interview that you did during the NCAA tournament. You were on the desk there with Charisma Osborne, and you basically said just how grateful you are to be here at UCLA and everything that it has provided for you off the court, on the court. And so you've showed that gratitude outwardly. But if I were to ask any of your teammates, and even Coach Close or any of the other assistants, what are they most grateful when they have you?
So I feel like London said it in our circle today. We do like what went well after practice. And she's like, you just show up all the time, and you're very consistent in what you bring, the energy you bring, the person you are day to day. And she's like, it goes unnoticed a lot of times, but she's like, it shouldn't. And you constantly show up for us, even when you don't feel your best, even when things may be frustrating in your life. Like, we don't know because you always show up the same. So I feel like they're grateful that I just remain true to who I am all the time. I always give my best for everyone around me, and I just think I stay consistent in what I do well.
And you've been consistent, whether that was in a starting role last year or now you're coming off the bench this year, and everyone wants to start. But with a loaded team like you guys got, it's not possible for everyone to start. But how have you kind of worked your way through that? Having to go back, take a little bit of a step back, not be that starter. How has that been for you this year?
Funny enough, I tell people all the time I like coming off the bench because I get a chance to view the game, see what is needed. So, like, I can go in and I feel like I make an immediate impact because I see, okay, this needs to be fixed. Oh, I can go enter there, do better there. But I think I'm someone who really likes to win. And at the end of the day, my team is succeeding. We're doing really, really well. And I know I have a part in that, even if it may not be on the court and starting and all the time. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm in a great role that is helping our team win. And their success and our success as a team and a program comes before my own personal feelings, my own personal success. And I'm just happy to be seeing, like, my teammates thrive. Like, I don't think there is a better moment on the court than, like, when I get to celebrate my teammates. And it's a lot easier to do that when you're not in the midst of gameplay. I can do all the celebrations. I can do all the cheers. But I'm happy to see our loaded team, our super, super talented team, like, shine all the time. And even if that means I'm still shining with them, even if I'm not on the court. So I'm just glad we're winning. I'm glad everyone is doing well. I'm glad we're playing well together. So that's kind of how I just managed through it.
Love it.
You said it, Cam, and this is the last question from me. It's a loaded team. There's a lot of winning that's going on, and this is a program that really could take new heights here with everything, the expectations that Nick was talking about and we were discussing. And with everything that you as a team are gunning for this year and all of that hype, how do you stay grounded in the sense of being that this is your last year? Remembering the little things on this journey, even though you're going for something mighty, but you stay focused on enjoying this last hurrah.
There's a quote. It's like, you don't fear the man who knows 10,000 kicks. You fear the man that has, like, mastered one kick 10,000 times. So, like, that's kind of like my mindset. And then, like, Jalen Hurts always says, keep the main thing the main thing. Like, each day I want to make sure that, like, I'm mastering that one kick 10,000 times. I want to make sure I'm showing up the same 10,000 times, and that's what I'm hoping to lead this team in the consistency-wise, because I keep telling them the time flies. And if I'm consistently showing up in this moment and being present about this day and being present about, like, what we do in practice, being present about how I go to class, stuff like that, I'm going to really enjoy this journey a lot more than if I just watch everything skate by and just take each day like it's a new day, like it's a new kick. But I'm just trying to layer each moment as something to remember, something that I know I won't look back on and be like, oh, I should have did this, I should have did this. Like, I want to be content at the end of my journey. I want to be content at the end of this college year, even if everything doesn't go well, which I'm hoping it does. Like, I hope that at the end of this year, when I graduate, when I walk across the stage, I'm very content in my time at UCLA. So.
And you're going to want that mastered kick this weekend. Crazy you guys
Sure
are playing
will.
USC again twice in the span of 2 weeks. I can't even imagine what it must have been like playing on the floor a couple weeks ago. But now you go into their place, and you know they're going to be fired up. What do you think it's going to take to make it 2-0 this year against the Trojans?
We don't have to change who we are, no matter the environment. We say all the time, other teams play to beat us, but we play to be us. So we just have to stick in what we do well, in who we are, and how we handle things, and how we respond, and just stick to who we are as Bruins. Like, we don't have to change, even though we're walking into a new environment. So I think that's what it's going to take to win. I think that's what it's going to take for us to go far this year. So, it doesn't really change. That's what it takes for us to have a good practice, for us to be ourselves, do what we do, and, remain true to that and respond well. So the same thing that it takes for us to have a good practice will be the same thing it takes for us to go down in SC this week and win.
As you said, you have a really good thing going, and we're going to be cheering you on as this really good thing goes through conference play and beyond. And we mentioned kick. Thanks for kicking it with us here. For Nick Cope, I'm Bryan Fenley. Cam Brown, UCLA women's basketball player. Thanks so much for talking with us on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having us. Well, having me.